Hi, it's Wyndham. How do you feel? There's a lot of feelings in these videos. How do you feel about the saying, it is what it is? I've been thinking about this recently, and there's this, on the surface, there's this air of, they're quite philosophical, probably quite well balanced, Hey, look, I'm not going to rage against the things I can't change. It is what it is. But I've been thinking, it feels like acceptance. And acceptance is one of the 6 essential elements that I talk about: compassion, curiosity, connection, awareness, acceptance, and intentional action. But it's really important, I think, it's really important that we recognise that acceptance is the 5th of 6 essential elements. And if we stop at 5, if we stop at acceptance, then is it really resignation? I reference Michael J. Fox quite a lot, actually, in relation to acceptance, because I think he has the perfect quote for this. And he says, acceptance is not resignation. Acceptance is recognizing things are how they are, and there has to be another way. Now, this is someone speaking about a degenerative, incurable disease. And still, accidentally using the title of a brilliant documentary, by the way. If you haven't seen it, Michael J. Fox, still go and watch it. It is excellent. But even in the face of incurable degenerative illness, he is not talking about resignation. Right? Accepting kind of go, well, it is what it is. I'm just going to stay here and slowly die. He's not having that. He has acceptance, and then he goes into the 6th essential element, intentional action. What am I going to do about this? I can't change this, but what else can I? Because nothing in our lives is this totemic, isolated, unconnected thing. And there might be something in our lives that we cannot change. But that does not mean there is nothing we can do to change our situation. Michael J. Fox cannot change the fact that he has Parkinson's disease. But what has he been doing over the last 20, 30 years? He's been taking action. He has increased awareness. He has increased the amount of money spent on research. He is the face of pioneering, groundbreaking research that one day could well get rid of Parkinson's permanently. So when you hear, it is what it is, how do you feel? What do you think? Have you ever used that saying? And if so, can you reflect back on what else was going on with you? Did you use it as a way to eliminate frustration? Which actually is what it does. Frustration is our inability to accept what is. We wanted a different outcome. We didn't get it. I'm frustrated. I'm annoyed. It doesn't help us. If we can accept it, we then empower ourselves to look for a different route, a different action, a different approach. Now, we may not be able to change the thing itself. If you look at any transformation, then it's very you can't untransform. Okay, so something happens in our lives, it's happened. okay, now what? Because if we are leaning back on this philosophical sounding, hey, it is what it is, there's nothing we can do, that is not acceptance. That is not a philosophical outlook. That is victimhood. And I recognise that the use of that term may be triggering. There may be emotions rising up. I understand that. And as I've said in other videos, when we are triggered, it is fundamentally because someone or something has said or done something that brushes up against one of our core life stabilizers, our core beliefs or our core truths. Now, in that instance, it might be that deeply embedded in our blueprint is this idea that I cannot create change. Those kind of activities, people living the life they really want to live, is not for me. Now that becomes the stabilizer for our lives. So we look for things that we don't want. We're not consciously doing it, but our blueprint frames how we see the world. And when we think we are not worthy of the life we really want, and we lack the creativity and ability to make that world, then we see lots of evidence that proves us right. And so if, when I said victimhood, that this idea of it is what it is and there's nothing more I can do has triggered an emotion in you, that might be interesting to investigate. Or you can shout me down. It's entirely up to you. But I guarantee, if you follow the path of shouting me down, of rejecting that idea outright without any investigation, then your sense that you can do nothing will persist. So it is what it is can be acceptance, or it can be resignation. And if it's resignation, you're stuck. How can you look at your life in a way that says, okay, this is what it is? For me, I am approaching my 48th birthday. I can't change that. How do I feel about it? What do I want to do with my life? I look for intentional action that shapes a new path, that shapes a new approach. In very quick, real time, my choice of using my age is a really poor example. So let me give you another one. Let me give you a real one. I have a client who is in the midst of breakdown in a relationship. And that is terminal. That relationship is ending. And regardless of what this client of mine wants to do about it, it's done. It has run its course. It is what it is. Now they then have a choice. Do they resign themselves to the sadness, to the disappointment, the potential feelings of failure? It is what it is. This is my life now. Or do they accept it for what it is? It is what it is. I can't fix this. What do I do now? How do I create a life from this that I really want to live? How do I reflect on myself? How do I treat myself? How do I invest in myself? How do I forgive myself so that I can move forward okay with what has happened and in a mindset that allows me to create something more positive moving forward? So, it is what it is. Annoying, sometimes. Acceptance, sometimes. Resignation, often. Victimhood. If we are not taking the extra step, if we are not then looking to figure out what we can do, then it's disempowering, and it is victimhood, because there is always something we can do. That thing might not change the crux of what we have to accept, but it can impact our lives. I leave you with that. I wish you a peaceful and joyful few days, and I will speak to you soon.